Hey everybody, it's Shelby here in my apartment in New York. And today, because so many of you have been watching my previous video on top basic steps taught in under 5 minutes, I'm gonna do a part 2 where I take what, in my opinion, would be the next 10 basic tap steps that every tap dancer should know, and I'm going to teach them to you in under 5 minutes. But we have an even bigger challenge ahead of us because these steps are more complicated than the first batch, and I'm still gonna attempt to handle this in under 5 minutes for you. Now, of course, if you want more detail on any of these steps, you can go to my individual TAP-torials where I explain each one in full detail. So without further ado, let's get into it. This first step I'm going to show you arguably should have been in my last video, cramp rolls. A cramp roll is literally a step on the right foot, step on the left foot, heel on the right, heel on the left. Step, step, heel, heel. Or you could do the left. You could do this in a million rhythms. Like I did, a triplet, 16th notes, etc. Right, left, right, left. The next step I'm going to teach you is a Shirley temple. It has 1,000 other names. Sideways flap, opposite heel first. From here you go brush heel. My foot's in the air, toe, heel. So, left, heel, heel, toe, heel. Really common rhythm are those swinging 8th notes I just showed you. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. A drawback travels backward, starts with a brush backward, a heel on our standing leg, and a step on our toe behind us. So we have 1, 2, 3 in that order. 1, 2, 3. And the steps become our downbeats and our accents. A Cincinnati is just like a drawback, but we add 3 sounds in between. So we start brush heel, just like a drawback, but then we're going to add shuffle heel before we finish and step back. So we have brush heel, shuffle heel, step. And then I would do the same thing on the left with no pauses at all in between. Okay, you guessed it. We're getting into time steps. Singles start with a stomp, and you pick that foot back up after you have dropped it flat on the ground. Hop on your other foot, step behind you. The next thing you're gonna do is flap forward, put your weight on your front foot, step back, and stomp down. The only sounds that I want flat are the stomp at the beginning and the stomp at the end. Everything else should be on your toes. Stomp, hop, step, flap, step, stomp. These typically are done starting on count 4 or 8, depending on how you're counting, and they swing. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. That stomp that ended your right foot is the stomp that begins the left foot. Now we're into double time steps. It is exactly the same as single, but I'm going to replace the step I did with another flap. Stomp, hop, I don't get to step behind me. I do a running flap with my right foot, and then I do my left flap to do the step stomp at the end. There are 2 flaps in a row, but one of them we already did in the single time step. Our next one is a triple time step. It's just like our single, but before we put that step down, we're going to add a shuffle. Stomp, hop, shuffle, step. That rhythm is blueberry blue. It's a triplet. Hop, shuffle, step. So there is no pause after the hop. From there, we get to finish just like all the other ones. Stomp, hop, shuffle, step, flap, step, stomp. Hop, shuffle, step, flap, step, stomp. Double triples are actually going to start the same way as a triple, and the thing that we change comes later. So we go stomp, hop, shuffle, step, and then instead of flap, step, stomp, we're gonna do another shuffle, step, stomp, hop, shuffle, and shuffle 2. We did that shuffle step instead of the flap, so you're going to just end step, stomp. Our next step is a military time step, which starts with an Irish, which is something that we worked on in part 1 of this video. But an Irish is a shuffle hop step. We're gonna do 1 Irish and then add 2 extra steps. and then you're gonna do the same thing on the other foot. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From there, you're gonna do 3 more Irishes in a row without those extra steps, and then put those extra steps at the end of the third one. Our last one is a rhythm turn. So a rhythm turn is just step, heel, heel, ball. Whatever foot you've stepped on, you have to do that heel first. So you're gonna cross instead of step next to you. You're gonna unwind, heel, heel to the back corner, ball, ball, back to the front. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of the next 10 most basic tap steps taught in under 5 minutes. Again, if you want more information about any of those steps, you can go to any of my individual TAP-torials for more details. Let me know if you have any requests for future videos, and I'll see you in our next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.